Police across North Dakota certainly stay busy 12 months a year. But since the COVID pandemic, many departments say their officers have been spending more time on welfare checks and mental health calls. Some of that has to do with anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. KX News' Nye Remy talked to Dickinson police about what that's meant for their department.
The pandemic kept many families apart, causing a lot of concerns about their loved ones. And police have taken many calls about welfare checks in the last few years. But a lieutenant at Dickinson Police Department tells me this is still on the rise, even after the pandemic.
We've been responding to a significant amount of suicidal threats, suicidal attempts.
Dickinson Police Lieutenant Mike Hannell says officers responded to 744 welfare checks in Dickinson, according to the current year to date, with 845 in 2022. And 94 of them this year were just in the last month.
It's more pervasive than it has been in years past.
And unlike the majority of welfare checks done in the last week, 4 of those were suicidal threats for Dickinson citizens.
In fact, as we're speaking right now, I can see our officers out on 2 separate welfare checks right now.
Since the pandemic, do you think those mental calls increased?
I think any law enforcement agency, anybody in my position would certainly make that connection that the pandemic was the catalyst that seems to have increased the amount of our mental health responses that we've been doing.
Lieutenant Hannell says even though it may seem like a high number of calls,
at the same time, I look at that as a positive, that people are no longer, afraid of the stigma that's associated with mental health. They're seeking out that help.
Lieutenant Mike Hannell says they've partnered up with mental health facilities in their area to provide help whenever there is a call to decrease those numbers. If you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis, please call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. For KX News, I'm Nye Remy.
Dickinson police tell KX News they have 8 officers per shift, 32 in total. The time spent on a welfare check varies. They say sometimes it can be as simple as a knock on the door. Other times it can take several hours as officers run a person's name in the missing persons database or have to use cell phone signals to find a person.